welcome to class. We are in math lesson 26. We're talking about division today. You guys ready? I'm so excited. We're going to be dividing. Okay, division is when you are separando multiple objects into groups. So, entre grupos. When you take your objects and you separarlos entre grupos. That's division. There are 3 parts to every division problem, and it's like this. We have our dividend, that's part number 1. Dividend is the number of objects. So it's all of your objects in all, the total of your objetos, the total of your cosas. That is your that is your dividend. The total of your cosas is your dividend. Then you have your divisor. That's part number 2. So we have dividend, then divisor. Divisor is the number in each group. So the número de cosas en cada grupo. The número de cosas en cada grupo es your divisor. So your dividend is the número de cada cosa en total. Your divisor is the número de cada cosa en grupos. El número de sus cosas en los grupos. Okay, eso is your divisor. Quotient, that's the number of groups. So your quotient, that is your número de grupos. So cada cosa que es en un grupo, eso es your divisor. Cada número de grupos es your quotient. Okay, let's say them together. Dividend, divisor, quotient. One more time. Dividend, divisor, quotient. Muy bien. Okay, so let's look at how we do it. We have some palomitas and some globos that are going to help us with our division today. So first, let's look at the palomitas. I want to divide my palomitas into groups. So I'm going to separarlos entre grupos. Let me see how many palomitas I have en total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 palomitas en total. And I am going to divide them into groups of 2. So here are 2 palomitas, 2 more palomitas, 2 more palomitas, 2 more palomitas, 2 more palomitas, and 2 more palomitas. So I have all of my palomitas in groups of 2. So I divide my 12 palomitas into groups of 2. So this is my dividend. It's my number of objects, my number of palomitas. This is my divisor. It's the number in each group. So now I want to know my quotient, my number of groups. Well, if I count the number of groups I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6. We can also write it like this. Here is my quotient. Let me rewrite that so that it looks a little nicer. 12 divided by 2. So 12 objects in total, entre dos, is equal to 6. I don't like how that looks. 6. Okay? So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we take our groups, or our objects, we separate it into groups. So our objects in total divided by the number in each group equals our number of groups. Okay, I want you to take out your page 51. Looks like this, okay? I want you to take out page 51 and we're going to do this page together. Ready? Okay, number 1. It says use the pictures to help you answer the questions. Now in your picture, you have velvet worms, but we are actually going to be looking at the balloons. The balloons are going to help us because I don't have velvet velvet worms to put on my board. I only have balloons. Okay, so the balloons are the velvet worms. All right, it says, letter A, how many velvet worms in all? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 velvet worms in all. So write 6 for letter A. How many velvet worms are in each group? So how many balloons are in each group? Here's one group, and here's the other group. How many is this in all? There's 3 in each group, right? 3 in this group, 3 in this group. So letter B should be 3. So that's 6 divided by 3. So how many groups do we have? Letter C. 2. 1, 2. So 6 entre 3 es 2. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to look at the second one. That one is leopard slugs. So the second one, but we're going to use palomitas again. But we're going to use our palomitas for this one instead. We want to know, letter G, how many leopard slugs in all? So you count your leopard slugs. How many rhinoceros beetles are there in all? Well, let's count them. I'm going to count my palomitas. You count the rhinoceros beetles. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 10. 5. Very good. So I have there's 6 in all. How many leopard slugs? How many rhinoceros beetles are in each group? I have in this group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many palomitas are in each group? 1, 2. Very good. So I have 5 in each group. 2. When you're dividing, you're going to have the same number in each group when you divide evenly. So now I want to know how many groups in all. Divided by 2, 3 groups in all. So how many groups do I have? I have 2. There you go. Very good. So 10 entre 2, excuse me, woohoo, entre 5 es 2. Very good. Okay, now we're going to do the next side of your paper. All right, let's finish up your paper. You should be on page 52. So we're talking about when you divide by 1 and by 2. Look at my globos, okay? I have 5 globos in total. So that's my dividend because it's my number of objects, 5 globos. So I have 5 in total. I have how many in each group? A group is shown by the green circle. How many are in each group? Just 1 globo. So 5 entre 1 es 5. There's 5 groups. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. Sorry, kind of ran into my balloon there. So we would also write that like this. 5 divided by 1 equals 5. So that gives me a very special rule. Any number divided by 1. Cada número entre 1 es lo mismo número. Every number divided by 1 is that same number. Okay, so if you have that number and you divide it into groups of 1, you have that many groups. So any number divided by 1 is that number. All right, let's look at the palomitas. Now we're going to divide by 2. How many palomitas do I have in all? Let's start with this group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10 in all. I'm going to erase this one so we don't get confused. I have 10 palomitas in all. How many are in each group? 2, that's right. So how many groups do I have? Cassandra? That's right. You have 5 groups of palomitas. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 groups of 2. 5 groups of palomitas. Now here's another little secret. Anytime you divide something by 2, you are taking the mitad, okay? So anytime you divide something into groups of 2, it's the mitad of that number, okay? All right, let's start your paper together. So number 2 says, divide by 2. You may use the mice to help you. So you have some little mice on your paper. I can't bring my book closer because it has all the answers. Okay, but you have some little mice on your paper. When you divide by 2, count the groups of 2. However many groups of 2 you have, that is your answer. Okay, so you have 4 divided by 2. So find 4 mice. How many groups of 2 do you have to have 4 mice? 2. Very good. Letter B, 10 divided by 2. Okay, so count 10 mice. And you can count by 2s to make it fast because they're in groups of 2. So just like with the palomitas, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So find that many mice. How many groups of 2 did you just have? 5. 5 groups of 2. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do it for letter C. Okay, letter C says 14. Okay, 14 divided by 2. So you need to count the 14 mice to see how many groups of 2 that gives you. So count by 2s up to 14 mice. I'm trying to cover the answers on my book right now so I can show you a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this works. Woo! Okay, so count 14 mice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, so we stop right there. So how many groups is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, we're going to do one more together and then you'll do the rest by yourself. Letter D, 24 divided by 2. Okay, so count 24 mice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. How many groups of 2 did you just count? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So that was 10 and 2 more, 12 groups of 2. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. Now I want to show you something. When you write your answer, we have to be very careful. The first number goes over the first 2, right there. And the second number goes over our 4. So you have to write it very neat and carefully. And we'll talk more about that in another lesson. Okay, so you're going to finish that part. Number 3, write the product. So you're going to be multiplying. And number 4 is your brain booster. You need to divide by 1. 100 divided by 1 is 100, right? Because remember, look down at the bottom. The quotient of any number divided by 1 is that, what goes in the blank? Same is that same number. Spelled like this. Long A. So we have an E at the end. Same. the quotient of any number divided by 1 is the same number. So you can do the rest of those by yourself. All right, have fun on your math page today. Love you guys.